There is a tenet of my beliefs that not a lot of people understand and not a lot of people get around to, or it doesn't make sense unless I explain it. You know, I say a lot of things in a way that's polarizing. You have to either be willing to intellectually engage what I'm saying, or emotionally intellectually engage in what I'm saying, or you just already get it from experience. But a lot of the things I say are in a way that's polarizing, to where if you have a certain level of social programming, it's not going to work. Now, this is what I mean when I say that a smart woman is going to be stupid for the right man. It's not about actually being stupid. It's a very smart and a wise decision to be submissive with someone who has your best interest in mind, and who has wisdom in certain areas, and who just knows how to lead, having a proper dynamic, right? This is what I mean. You know, many women these days, their mindset is to be a queen, right? You can be a queen in one of two ways. A queen with a man in one of two ways. Either you're a queen with the queen's husband, which is that man isn't at his highest position, or you're a queen with a king. This idea of equality, where there's going to be everybody, everything is 100% equal. Is it possible? Yes, it's not impossible. I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but is it likely? No. Chances are somebody's going to be in the lead in how things are working out. Now, a man can be in the lead, and his intentions, a good man, his mindset is going to be that his vision, his goal, his program is going to be what his program is going to include the best interests of his woman, right? But a woman who desires to lead, her best interest is not going to include the best interests of that man most of the time. And the reason why it won't is because she desires to be the queen, but if she desires to lead, a woman who desires the best interest of that man is a woman who desires to be led by that man. That's the best interest of that man in that particular situation. Is a man who has his own dream, his own vision, his own goals, and then he's dominant and he carries that out throughout his life, right? In the way that he conducts himself with her and with his life in general, right? But especially with these different aspects of it. Now, the reason why I say that a woman has to be stupid for the right man, a wise woman is stupid for the right man, is because when you have a certain level of social programming, when you first hear certain things, it's going to hurt. There's nothing actually wrong with it. It's just that your social programming is going to put you into a certain direction, to where when you hear certain things, it's going to trigger feelings of insecurity. It's going to trigger feelings of hurt and pain, because you've encountered the unhealthy versions of the things that are supposed to be healthy versions. So it's like you've only encountered unhealthy masculinity, toxic masculinity. You've only encountered a man who wants to use and abuse you and throw you away, right? You've only encountered men who were not masculine at all, but just feminine, and then they tried to masquerade around as if they were masculine. That's all you've encountered, and because that's all you've encountered, you take a "fuck it, I'll do it myself" mindset, and then become a masculine woman yourself. So when a man tells you that he wants a woman who's feminine and submissive, you say, well, if when I tried to rely on somebody else to do it, it didn't get done, so I had to do it myself. So if you tell me that I need to do it, that if I need to let you do it instead of doing it myself, then that means you're trying to tell me to allow myself to be stupid and left out in the cold, with no way of getting the things that I need in my life, or being safe or protected. It's like you feel unprotected. If you don't feel protected, you don't trust that man enough to be with him in the first place. You got to understand what I'm saying. Now, sometimes it's a perception thing, but this is where the desire thing comes in. This is where the respect comes in. Where it comes in is this right here. You know, you need to, and this is why I say femininity is about desiring the person more than you desire things to work a particular way. And masculinity is about desiring things to work a particular way more than you desire that particular person. And the reason I say this is like this. So as a woman, something that can happen is this right here. If you want a man enough, if you're feeling that man enough, right? If you're feeling him enough, if you're sexually attracted to him enough, if he's just on your mind, you're in your emotions about that individual, then you're going to be able to tolerate that initial pain that comes with that process of transitioning into your feminine energy, right? Like, let's say it's a situation where if you're the one who's in control of the relationship or the sexual relationship or whatever it is, then that man may be too submissive with you in order to cause you any kind of discomfort, because his goal is that by not causing you any discomfort, he's going to be able to maintain consistent access to you sexually. Understand that. A sexual alpha male is not only not going to care about that, But if you're not acting right, he's going to limit access to him sexually to you. See, this is why sex is important when it comes to relationships. People discount this aspect of it. This is very important. He's going to limit sexual access to him until you behave correctly. Now, what happens in this scenario is you're able to tolerate that discomfort of not having your needs met, or you're able to say, okay, cool, I want him so much that I don't think that whoever it is I'm going to encounter is going to give me that same feeling that he does. So I'm going to actually correct myself instead of just walking away because I'm not getting my way. This is when a man takes a role of daddy. This is when a man takes that role of he is the one who is handing out rewards and punishments to the woman based off of the way that the relationship works. There's repercussions, right? He has his vision and you meet up to those standards or you don't. Now, it's not always automatically he's going to walk away. Sometimes it's more so just that you're not going to get all the love and affection and attention that you want at that moment. But if you're in your masculine energy, then what you're going to do is either you're going to combat that, you're going to talk slick, you're going to get upset, you're going to get offended, and then you're either going to try to walk away from that man and just leave altogether, or you're going to try to play the game back with him and try to play that game of, well, I'm going to withhold this from you and I'm going to do that. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. See, the way this situation works is, as you see this man's vision and you respect it and you understand it, and or at least you feel that man, you're going to start to conform yourself to his masculine energy and to his vision, because you know that the things that you want to get out of it is only going to be if you do things his way. You understand what I'm saying with this? This is the important part. It's about being willing to suffer the discomfort because of your desire for that man. Now, there are things that are on the other side of that discomfort. The things on the other side of that discomfort are a greater level of pleasure, sexually as well. Once you get to that point where you're dealing with a man who pushes you past your boundaries and your limits sexually and takes you to a new place, you experience a new level of pleasure that you couldn't experience when you were in your masculine energy, right? A good example of this sometimes works with and this isn't something that's true across the board, but it's just a trend that I've noticed. It's like women who tend to be in their masculine energy, they usually only tend to deal with guys who can give them clitoral orgasms. But when you allow a man to push you past those boundaries, you start having vaginal orgasms, right? Or at least when you allow those boundaries to get pushed and you allow yourself to be dominated, you start experiencing vaginal orgasms that you even prefer over the clitoral, when you could have spent years of your life just primarily liking clitoral orgasms. But you had to get pushed past that point of being afraid of losing control. That's a big aspect of it, right? So what usually happens in these type of scenarios is like this. If you're dealing with a man who you don't desire enough, you're not attracted to him enough, then what'll happen is you're not going to trust his domination enough. You're not going to want to be dominated enough to allow that to happen. So you're going to stay in your comfort zone. It's about being pushed past your comfort zone. That's what it's about. So when we're looking at these type of scenarios, it's about dealing with someone who you desire enough on an emotional level to allow yourself to get pushed past your boundaries, to allow something to happen on the back end, even if you don't know exactly what it is up front. Because if you know what's going on in the back end before the front end comes in, before you go through the discomfort that may happen at times when it comes to being quote unquote stupid for somebody, what'll happen is you may stay in your logical masculine energy and you're going to make a logical decision about certain aspects of the relationship, because there's an idea of transaction of what you're going to get on the back end. And not only that, but if that doesn't happen quick enough, then you're going to stay in your masculine energy. And if it doesn't happen fast enough, then you're going to pretend to be submissive, which is bot cooperation, for a period of time in order to see if what you want is going to happen on the other end. The truth is this: it's not a matter of seeing it happen on the other end. It's a matter of you being submissive enough for that to happen, for you to go to that place. It's not you allow the opportunity for something physical to happen, or allow opportunity to be cooperative on a action level and just expecting that to happen. That's not enough. You have to submit yourself to it, and after you submit yourself to it, that's when your energy is opened up for those things to happen on the back end. You can spend years being cooperative with a man, sexually cooperative, as in you can have sex with him when he wants you to. That doesn't mean that your energy is submissive enough to reach those places. You're just doing an action. Your energy, it's not cooperative with the outcome that you're trying to get. And this is something I really want people to understand. Like, this is something I really want people to understand when it comes to masculine energy versus feminine energy, right? You know, the reason why domination is so important, right? It's just like the emotion is what allows you to have a child. If a woman stays in her logical masculine energy, she's probably not going to want to have children because she's thinking about the things that she's going to lose as far as opportunities, about maybe the different men that she could have the option of dealing with, maybe her body staying in shape, maybe her career opportunities. But the emotional things that she gains from having a child who she loves is something that you can't replace. That no kind of monetary value can replace the love that a woman has in her heart for her child. There's nothing that can replace that, right? Nothing can replace that. It works the same, but you have to go through that pain of childbirth. It's the same thing with masculine energy and feminine energy. Sometimes there's pain you got to go through. And sometimes that pain is not that the man's doing you wrong. Sometimes that pain is just your pride being hurt because you're used to thinking a fucked up way for so long. So it's like, after you get out of that mindset, after you move past that, you take yourself to a place and you allow him to take you to a place where now you're in a completely different state of mind. But you have to open yourself up to it. And simply doing a physical action because you're told to is not the same. You can do it out of fear. You can do it out of fear of loss. You can do it out of, well, I just don't want to hear his mouth. That is not the same as being submissive. That's being cooperative. Submission versus cooperation. And so this is just about submission versus cooperation, and why a wise woman is stupid for the right man. So yeah, I think that's enough on this. I'm not sure there's too much to add on it, but this is it. This is probably one of my most important videos. So listen to this, share it with people, and you be blessed.